You know, success is predictable. I can look at every area of your life and I can probably predict with some level of accuracy the level of your success. Now, I wouldn't do that because I have a crystal ball. I'll simply do that easily because I can look at your health, I can look at your wealth, I can look at your happiness, I can look at your relationships, I can look at your business, I can look at perhaps your grades. In other words, I can look at the results you're obtaining in every area of your life, and that will give me a clue to your level of success. The reason I can do that easily is because I can, without knowing you, I can focus on the amount of time, the amount of energy, the amount of focus, the amount of effort, and the amount of resources you put in to what I believe is a significant key to success, and that is your personal development. What is personal development? Well, it's simply your ability to invest in yourself. Warren Buffett is considered to be the greatest investor of all time. And he is known to have said that the best investment you can make is to invest in yourself. That the return it provides back to you compounds, and that the return is far in excess of anything else you could get from any other investment. Now, this is the most intelligent and the most successful investor of all times. Now, you would have expected that he would have said, if you want to be successful, invest in my company or invest in another company. But he says, no, you've got to begin in yourself. Now, you and I reproduce who we are. You and I can only reproduce who we are. There's a sequence in the success equation that I usually use, and that is be, do, and have. When we talk about success, most people think about success from the point of view of what they want to obtain, what they want to have. Very few people talk about success from the point of view of what they have to do, and very, very few talk about who they have to be. You see, to have more, you have to become more. Because success is not something that you get. Success is something that you earn. And you earn success because it's attracted to you, not because you go running after it. As a matter of fact, I think that success is a result. It's a result of doing things in a certain way. So success is not an objective. It shouldn't be. I'll say that again. Success is not an objective, and it shouldn't be an objective. Your focus should always be on how can I make myself the best me that I can be. And by doing that, you get into what I call mastery, where you're extremely focused on excellence in everything you do. And the reward, the result of whatever accomplishment that you've been able to achieve is a successful state. So, success key, I'm not sure if this is number 9 or number 10, whatever it might be. The success key we're talking about today is personal development, investing in yourself. Now, I think one of the best decisions you can make every day is the decision to take a portion of your time. I have a formula that I use. I say between 5 and 10% of your time, and between 5 and 10% of your money every day or every month should be invested in you. Now, between 5 and 10% would mean in a 24-hour day, 10% of 24 hours is 2.4 hours. Half of that is 1.2 hours, roughly. So you're going to be investing approximately between 1.5 and 2.5 hours in yourself daily, in feeding your mind with right information by study, by listening to the right information, reading the right books, maybe listening to the right mentors and people who know much more than you do, in thinking, but investing between 1.5 and 2.5 hours every day in yourself is really the pathway to success. If you can do this consistently, it's almost inevitable that you will achieve success. I know it's difficult. I know for many of you, you're probably thinking 1.5 is a lot to ask for, and 2.5 is probably too much. But let me share with you how I do mine. Perhaps that might give you some insight and give you some ideas about what you might do in your case. On average, most of us will sleep about 8 hours every day. Some 7 hours, some maybe 6. Upon waking up, we have to get ready for work or get ready for school. We get ready, then we have to travel to work. On average, we will spend between 1 hour and 2 hours traveling to work, and between 1 hour and 2 hours traveling back from work. So the average person, especially in London, generally will spend approximately about 2 to 3 hours traveling to and from work. In addition to that, the average person at the end of the day will maybe spend between 1 hour and 2 hours on various recreational activities, maybe going to the gym, going for a run, going for a walk. And what I started to do back in the day was I realized that I didn't have enough hours in a day, but I recognized the importance of investing in myself. So I came up with a principle that I call mobile university, which simply meant that whilst I was on the go, that I would convert my mobile phone to a university on wheels. Whilst traveling to work, if the journey was going to take me 2 hours back and forth, rather than spend the entire time perhaps watching a comedy, perhaps reading a newspaper, perhaps just talking or listening to music, I decided to divide the time into 2 parts. Halfway through my journey to work, I listened to an audiobook, an inspirational material, an educational information. Halfway through my way back from work, I did the same. So that meant that I allowed some time for education and some time for entertainment. I called it the EE ratio. That meant that every day, just traveling to work and coming back from work, I easily was investing about an hour as a minimum in myself. Now, over time, I got so enthused and excited about the whole growth process that it became much easier for me to invest the entire hour studying, reading, learning, and the time coming back. So very suddenly, very easily, 2 hours every day was invested whilst traveling. So whilst I was traveling to work, I was studying. I did something else. I decided that rather than sleep for 7.5, 8 hours every day, that I would take half an hour and I would wake up early and I would invest the first half hour in myself, studying. Pick up a book and just read. When you wake up in the morning, your mind is the most calm, and that is the best time to feed your mind. And I would invest half an hour, sometimes it would go up to an hour, so that by the time I got to work, I had invested between 2.5 hours and 3 hours in myself alone. That was profound. And guess what? I hadn't changed. Well, I know I had woken up early, but I hadn't fundamentally changed my lifestyle. I was still doing the same things I wanted to do, but it meant that I was still learning. At the end of the day, the days I went to the gym, rather than spend all the time listening to music, I would take a portion of the time and I would invest in myself. So investing time in yourself is possible. The question is, how badly do you want it? How badly do you want it? The next thing you have to do is learn how to invest a portion of your money. Rather than buy yourself good clothes, nice shoes, and I love that. I don't think there's anything wrong in that. Take a portion. And it doesn't have to start with 5 to 10%. If you can't afford that, start with 1%. But every month, a portion of what you earn should be reinvested in yourself. Buy the right books and study them. Invest in going to the right seminars and make new contacts, interact with people, connect with people, find the right material in terms of video, audio, and surround yourself with people who are better than you. find the right mentors, get a mastermind group. But every month, take a portion of what you earn and put back in yourself. I use the principle of a seed, usually to explain the importance of reinvesting in yourself. Every farmer understands this principle, that at the end of the harvest season, that the farmer, in order to have something at the end of the next harvest season, recognizes that he or she must take a portion of what they've harvested and put it back in the ground. You sow a portion of what you had back in the ground. Why? Because the next season, you want another harvest. It's no different with you. That's the principle of life. You have to take a portion of what you have, put back in yourself. And the reason is simply because you're either growing or you're dying. You're creating or you're disintegrating. There is no such thing as actually being even, staying on an even keel. Anyone who believes that you can remain the way you are, or you like it just the way things are, is somewhat misguided, because that doesn't exist. Life is forever seeking to express, and if you don't allow life to express itself through you, it's shrinking. So every month, you have to take a portion of what you've earned and reinvest in yourself, because you see, the produce that you get from a harvest depends on the quantity of seed you put back in the soil. But more importantly, and most importantly, it depends on the quality of the soil. I'll say that again. The quality of your harvest depends on two things: the quantity of seed you put in the soil, but more importantly, the quality of the soil. So your mind is like a soil. You have to reinvest in that soil to nourish, to cater for, to water, to plant, to protect the soil. But more importantly, you've got to put good seed, find good seed. And that good seed could be perhaps books about relationships, books about health, books about business, books about wealth, books about happiness, books about spirituality, the mind, books about being a better person. Those are seeds. You take those seeds and you put those seeds in the garden of your mind, and it produces much fruit. And those fruits is what we call results. And the quality of your results is a reflection of the quality of your success. So, in summary, the key to success comes in various types and patterns. One of the most important ones is personal development. The ability to reinvest in yourself so that you can be more, so you can have more, so you can do more. The discipline of constant and never-ending growth and improvement is one of the most important pathways and strategies for success.